Hello and welcome. I'm Peasant. I've got something different for you today, a bit different. I'm actually doing a voiceover over a game that I've just this second recorded. Yeah, so it's going to be a learning experience for all of us here. But basically, this here is a video, so I can stop and start it. So I can't kind of go in here for the gobs, but I have just this second finished this game. So hopefully I should be able to talk you through this. So this is a rough competition. This is France 6. I am Bringer. And we have this early desert explore. It actually isn't too bad, and it sets up for a really nice start. And this seems to be the kind of typical for now. What I'm hoping to do here is set up for a nice counterattack in the desert. I think that's what I'm doing anyway, because they're gonna build a city in here anyway. And hopefully, if I can push this town out, I can then defend next turn with Dread Apparitions and Night Terrors and counterattack with these Dahan here. But this is nice as well. This feels like a little nuance. Like, removing any lone Dahan from the map helps you against the events. There are a few events where your Dahan get yoinked out, and then you're really sad about it. So now the decision, so pause it there. The decision there to where to place the extra explore from France 6. I think I'm favouring putting it in with existing buildings at the moment. That seems to be, if there are disease tokens on the map, that's also good. Yeah, so we've got this nice clustered Dahan up here, which is pretty good. And this is actually really nice. You don't often get to do this, but I'm going to be able to move these Dahan using this kind of the final effect on Predator Arms to actually have 6 Dahan altogether, which is pretty unusual. And again, with the town, I'm favouring pushing it into a land that doesn't have anything in, which is completely opposite to normal confrontation, because it prevents the double explorer place from France, which is how they produce so many explorers. Yeah, so placing the presence in there so that I can actually call on Midnight Streams. And I can still Dread Apparitions in here. So I initially had the idea that I'd counterattack in here with my Dahan, but instead I'm just merely defending in there, getting greedy for the energy. Greedy for that sweet energy. So there you go. That's the 3 defense I need. Obviously, it's cutting it a bit fine. The event can ruin my day, and yeah, I mean, I'm really favouring Tigers hunting in this particular matchup. Is a very specific matchup as a kind of fear engine. Yeah, and the beasts can come in really clutch against France because they're a rare way of helping you with the towns that start building up. So I think here I was trying to think about whether I like Jungle Hungers, but it's just getting that third plant is really awkward. And I actually went for the playing it straight away with Jungle Hunting, thinking about a fear farm on the coast in here with this city. But in order to build up the beasts, you kind of need to be putting them on the board. I think with Bringer, you really like your cards to kind of do a lot of things, because you generally have got 2 plays for almost the entire game. And then this is weird. It's like I'm deciding to have a city build instead of a town build here. And, also looking for luck. Years of Little Rain is a no-brainer if you've got the Dahan in with your lands. Because even at playing 4 energy, now I am very energy rich because of a cheap major and this 6 stack here. But this is just glorious. Just glorious. Always happy to see Years of Little Rain. Farmers seek Dahan for aid. Not so happy to see that. There's a pain in my balls. But yeah, it looks like I got some bonus clears here, which is what I was just checking there. So yeah, I am recording this voiceover just after doing this match. It's some hope that I can vaguely remember what happened. We have the removal. Of course, against France 6, it's not actually a removal, it's a push. So often these fear card removals are actually not exactly the blessing you're hoping for. And I like pushing in with disease if I can. We get to remove a town as well. Yeah, so you always want to remove a town here because you'll be... well, actually not always, but most of the time you want to remove a town. Here we know that the Ravage is going to clear... Sorry, the Ravage isn't going to clear that there. It will in the future, probably, possibly. It's like I really went into the tank here. Okay, so we got a very fortunate start. This Tiger's hunting proving to be awesome. And then again, the choice of where to put an Explorer, and I guess I'm going to gamble to put it in here with the Beast. Oh no, I'm not. It's good to have a working memory. So we know that the Ravage is going to take care of that Explorer, aside from shenanigans. We also know that we got like a presence ahead of our usual game plan. I think I might have been tempted to try and skip the full reclaim, but I think it's worthwhile to not. We've got a weird turn off here with the Ravages, kind of unusual. And yeah, now the decision, do you kind of... I think with this cheap, with a major like this, you probably want to go for another major. I'm pretty sure that's what I do. Well, I say that, but you know, not that sure. And the nice thing is, at this point, I'm thinking I could make a fear farm here and just keep hitting this with Tiger's Hunting. Tiger's Hunting itself gives you 2 fear, and then if you're hitting the city, that's another 5 fear, which is pretty good for 2 energy, and it's fast as well. And it has great elements, has the beast element that's that then kind of enables you to get the higher tier on your fear innate. Really have disappeared into the tank here. Not exactly sure what I was contemplating. It's probably whether to get a major or not, because I don't really have a card I want to get rid of here. And yeah, prizes is if you've watched a few of my videos, you might know what I'm going to go for here. But if you haven't, well, top clue, it's not going to be Dissolve the Bonds of Kinship, which is a card I don't think I've ever successfully used. If you've successfully used Dissolve the Bonds of Kinship, you know, get involved. Clearly I was thinking about Grant here, but I just don't think it's good for Bringer, unfortunately. You'd think it might be, but not really. I don't know, I guess the only thing you're really missing is the destroying on invaders. But because 4 moons shouldn't be that hard to get to if you really push for it. But yeah, I went for Land Thrashers. The nice thing with Land Thrashers is it's works with Predatory Nightmares. You can get the threshold on it really easily. Really easily. And you'll notice I forgot my Defend card, which is pretty bold. You're going to see some bold strats now. I hope you're ready. I hope you're sitting comfortably. If you've got your seatbelts on. If you are driving, pull over. If you are watching this while you're driving, you don't do that. Terrible idea. So I think at this moment, I'm thinking about the future. I remember at this point, I've actually already got my plan, pretty much. Yeah, I won't spoil it. If you've worked it out by now, then yeah, then that's great. And here I'm actually just still working on this fear farm. The idea of getting a beast in here. Now, I don't actually need both beasts to be in here because I can gather one and it gives me a little bit of flexibility, even though there is Blight in here. So I can't actually use Tiger's Hunting in there. But it does mean that I could use Tiger's Hunting somewhere else to maybe push a town away or some explorers. Yeah, let's see what fear card we've got. That's a super good one. We can actually prevent this build here, which is a town build. Because that extra explorer, of course, will become a town. So that's kind of... You're always happy to see that. And then just picking the element, I don't think it actually matters here. But I'm thinking about it anyway. I actually do remember I was trying to think about possible events, though. I don't know the events well enough to do that. So just spending my mental energy completely uselessly. This, actually, I was playing just to get Night Terrors. There isn't actually a good way of... I don't think there's a particularly good Dahan movement here, especially bearing in mind my plans that for some reason I'm not telling you. This is super. The secondary on Dreams is actually really good because you can potentially get a lot of fear. So I did push these in here thinking about potentially getting 2 fear in the fast phase off this. Putting down. This is me being upset about putting down roots. Anything that adds towns to the board is upsetting when you're playing against these guys. Very upsetting. I think I'm going to reveal my plan to you very, very shortly. It'll be hard to avoid what I'm going on about. So yes, is he doing it? Is he doing it? Yeah, he's putting a town there. What's he doing? What's he putting a town in there for? Is he lost his mind? Maybe he has. So I'm pushing an explorer town from land with Dahan. This explorer here, of course, is going to die. And I decide to just not bother. Okay, and then this is the one we were all looking for that I knew was coming. So this is great because I can avoid a build here, and I can actually put these things in here, which actually is all part of the master plan. So yeah, the master plan is incoming. You will witness something. A fine sight for any. Don't know where I'm going with this. And again, I like to put the explorers in with buildings, but for what I'm doing here, probably doesn't matter that much. So if you can see my cunning plan, now's I'm going to actually start being more explicit now. So my plan is to play both of these, and this has been my plan for a while, which is why they're still here. The moon on my board means that I'm going to be able to get the third mountain using my one of my innates. The innate that lets you see fear cards also gets me the third mountain I need. Now you'll see here there's going to be a ravage. I'm letting that happen, and then I'm letting it spill. And I was trying to work out whether to let it spill into the jungle here or into here. Now I decided. I don't think I actually decided till later on which way I was going, but that's what I was thinking about. I also was thinking about possibly going with a reclaim at range 0, just so that I wouldn't need to reclaim and gain on a future turn. Because what I could do is Tiger's hunting next turn, and then maybe get one of these back if I wanted to. So yeah, we don't get to see the fear card, but it really doesn't matter with what's about to happen. So we've got the third mountain. So we've got Threshold on Land Thrashes. That means it's going to target 2 adjacent lands. We also have a bonus Rebellion, which I think I might well have forgotten about. But let's pretend I didn't. Let's pretend I remembered. So extra damage in the Ravage. We don't care. And this often happens where I have to check the event card. It's like, what the hell? What the hell happened? So we're also going to get a little bit of bonus fear off that fierce Mien, whatever that is. And again, for some reason, I've gone into the tank. I guess contemplating whether it's partial damage. I think I decided at this point that I wanted to keep this area a bit less blighty, so I'm probably going to go blighty in this direction in the slow phase. And we've got a gather decision to make. So that's a straightforward preventing a town build. Although we are fairly okay for the number of towns in our town pool. And of course, there are 2 mouse pointers on the board. I'm pretty sure I've worked out how to have a nice fancy one for my voiceover. Okay, so I'm actually trying to work out. So I've kind of bounced some blight around here. Well, I will be bouncing some blight around. Or maybe I'm ahead of myself. It's possible. Downward spiral means that we've got a really nice, we've got big blight pool. So actually, instead of overflowing into one of these lands, I've actually just gratuitously added extra. Because what this is going to mean is that in these 2 lands, that's 5 damage. That is a city and a town. Which means that this Land Thrashes is going to be ridiculous. This is also adjacent to both of those, meaning that it is an additional damage in both. So we'll do this first, because I can because of the way this works. It means I can push the town from here into here, and I think that's me trying to figure it out. You can tell, and also possibly being quite excited because this is pretty cheeky. I've still got to be careful. I've still got to consider that the build next turn is potentially going to build 4 towns in here, so I can't just go all out on fear. But I can still And I think I had to precisely calculate this, because currently there's 2 blight in there and then 4 adjacent blight. So the 4 adjacent would be 4, so 8 damage in total. So I did have to try and work that out. I think yeah, so I don't actually max out on fear here, I don't think. And you'll notice that I've pushed the town down here to prevent a town build in this region. And so instead there'll be a city, but as Bringer, I'd rather there were cities than towns. So yeah, the decision here was, yeah, it's like, was it worth trying to get the extra fear? I'm 1 fear away from a fear card, but I think, I can't actually remember, did I opt to do this, or did I trust the fear cards? Trusted the fear cards, God. What the hell? Oh no, there's only 1 explorer left, so actually it's fine. It's actually fine. Yeah, it just makes sense to push them back here so I could rinse and repeat this on a future turn. Then we've got some gratuitous nightmares as well. Actually, I can't actually remember what I did with them. I'm sure it was pretty nice. It will be another fear card if I hit a town with it. And a potential to move Dahan about. But this is actually keeping the blight situation a bit more comfy. But yeah, it's just, this felt pretty nice to execute. And 5 Terror level 3 fear cards. That's got quite a lot of potential. But this is still actually pretty ropey, as you'd expect for Bringer. Especially solo Bringer at high difficulty. There's always a fair amount of rope involved. It's like, you know, and I think at this point I'm thinking, well, I've got 5 Terror level 3 cards. Can I rely on them to deal with this coastal land? I think I also realised that if I get that any, I can actually just reclaim and use land thrashes, because I can have an any mountain and then a 3 moons mountain as well, and I can also slap in some tigers to help. I think that's where I was going with that. But yeah, it's all very, it all feels very close. Yeah, it is. It's pretty fun being this wombo, though, I have to say, I did enjoy that. So yeah, we are gonna, so I get a mountain from my any. The only reason, and remember, I got that Years of Little Rain that meant I've actually got an extra presence down to where I might expect to be. And also I've been trying to take as few reclaims as possible. That's the only reason that this turn works at all. Yeah, so, and I think I did briefly consider whether to give myself an heir, but just getting an extra land thrashes region, the adjacent land, is just, I mean, that's just an extra 7 fear, which is quite a lot of fear. So I've only got 2 towns in my pool. What am I thinking here? What am I thinking? Because in the build phase, we would have a city and a town here and a town here, which, with this escalation effect, is really ropey. I think I undo here, don't I? Yeah, I do undo. And realise that I actually need to make sure that I don't die in the build phase. Because, yeah, so the escalation effect is either going to place a town or a blight. And a blight might just be good for me. But if I get, say... jungle would be a blight or a town. Maybe I was unnecessarily flapping here. That's possible. I flapped before. So yeah, Trying to work out as well, kind of whether I could rely on on some kind of fear card based solution to here that would add towns to the pool. And then I think I'm actually just counting. Because, so the land thrashes is gonna, there's 3 blight in here, so that's a shed ton of damage. In fact, that's 6, 7, 8, 9 damage in there. So yeah, so basically it would be a 14 fear. So I think at this point I'm just checking to see if I'll win in the slow phase with land thrashes. And I think once I've figured that out, I will then just play a safety first Tiger Tank in here, just to prevent the town build. So I'm basically pretend killing those guys and pushing them somewhere where they are not going to, where one of them isn't going to become a town in the build, which should give me the kind of the latitude that I need. The thing is that because event happens before fear cards, you know, I could still be in trouble. That's the joy. And France 6 is frustrating because the events do wreck you quite a lot. My win rate in this competition is about 50-50, and that's 50-50 when I'm not recording, and generally my win rate, I think, is I'm slightly worse when I'm recording and talking at the same time. So we get some beast destruction here, and so I think this should be it. And I'm just checking my maths. I mean, not like there's going to be anything better. So I suppose I need to make sure that I'm making the right moves, because if this isn't the win, then I need to make sure that I've got a plan for next turn. Though if there was another turn, probably tigers hunting in that coastal forest would be another good chunk of fear. And that is the victory. So yeah, Terra 4 victory. And yeah, super fun. Kind of pretty fun letting this central blight kind of overflow into each other. Yeah. Let me know what you think of the voiceover format. This is the first one on the channel. And also what you thought of the game. I mean, I got very lucky in the early game. It's quite a lot of swinging stuff. For some reason, I show you my statistics now. I don't know why. I was actually looking for the details, hoping for an amusing number in the score bit. I still maintain that scoring is for serial killers. But if you know... Anyway, all right, we've gone to that. So if you like the video, like the video. And yeah, I'm interested to know what you think of the voiceover format, whether it's actually, how it compares. Anyway, till next time, keep it spiritual.